Hi everyone, this is Hazel Marie and welcome to my craft room. Seems like a lot has been going on since the last time that I spoke with you. Um, as you know, or may not know actually, uh, my last living brother, my last sibling on my father's side, was killed in a tragic accident, and he was one of the finest men I have ever known. I lived with he and his family my senior year in high school, and he was always the same, just a wonderful brother. And anyway, they were having a memorial service for him in Cleveland, Texas, and we were on our way, and we were involved in a very bad accident, car accident, and our car was totaled. Uh, the car that hit us was totaled, and the car that we were knocked into was not totaled, but the lady did go to the hospital, but she was released without any major um, problems. So I just thank the Lord, first of all, for protecting us, and second of all, that we were driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee that had more airbags than they were just everywhere. And the person who hit us, it was not his fault, it was our fault. And when he found out that he had hit our car, uh, because we actually pulled out in front of him due to a blind spot, um, he was upset because I had known him for over 50 years. And once he found out I was, excuse me, okay, he still kept checking with me, and I thought that was awfully sweet. But anyway, my husband, he did actually kind of hurt his shoulder a little bit, and he had to sleep in a recliner a few nights. And the person who hit us, he had a few little problems, and my husband had some cuts on his arms, where the actually it's on this arm, the left arm, where the airbags came out. And we had our niece with us, who has autism, and it scared her just unbelievably. And I'm in the front seat trying to calm her down, and a gentleman stops and helps get her out of the car, and we can't open my door, and it won't open. But there was also the person's car that hit us was uh, so close to my car that there's no way the door would have opened if it would have opened. And so I had to crawl over the console and go out the back door. But I just thank the Lord. My niece and nephew came and to the wreck and took care of us and brought us home. And I'm just so thankful for them. And then, of course, you know that we were hit with Hurricane Harvey. And I live in Kingwood, and Kingwood was hit terribly because the San Jacinto River actually runs through um, uh, Kingwood. Uh, Kingwood is located on both. Anyway, the flooding, uh, there are like 80,000 people in Kingwood, and I'm just so thankful that we were spared the flooding because our house is up kind of on a hill. You know, as you go from the river, you know, usually you start going uphill. And supposedly we live in one of the higher areas. And so I'm thankful, but my heart goes out for those who are hurting uh, by all of the hurricanes, the three hurricanes in Puerto Rico and Florida and Louisiana and Alabama and Texas and all along the Gulf Coast. It just breaks my heart. But anyway, to get on with my story, please excuse my coughing. I don't know where it's come from or where it's going, but I have it. uh, anyway, we found a new car in San Antonio. Uh, we could not find the color we wanted in Houston, believe it or not. But you know, Houston was totally flooded. And but anyway, we found a car and we took Uber to San Antonio, and that was a very nice experience, I must say. And we picked up our new car, which was a 2017 Grand Cherokee, and it was a beautiful car. Just loved it. And so my husband suggested we go downtown and go to the Riverwalk. And if you're familiar with San Antonio, it has a below the ground Riverwalk, and you take stairs down to uh, the walk. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's really gorgeous. If you're ever in San Antonio, I highly recommend it. There's all kinds of hotels that are built along the Riverwalk. There's flowers. Excuse me. There are flowers and there are plants, uh, music, boat rides. It's gorgeous. And at one end of it is a mall, and it's close to the Alamo. It's just a beautiful place. And there's a famous Mexican restaurant there. And so we were going to go to lunch. Well, uh, everything was going really well. We parked our car, and we walked to one of the entrances down to the Riverwalk. And I'm not sure how it happened, but I think I took my eyes off of the steps. And the last two steps, these were all concrete. Um, the last two steps I missed. And I landed on my right hand, my left knee, and my shoulder. And I probably made a pretty good sight, you know, laying there in the middle of the river walk. But I was afraid to move because I thought I had broken something. And some of the medications that I take um, actually thinned the bones. And so it was very scary. And I thought, oh no, my knee may be broken, my hand may be broken. But anyway, I yelled out for my husband, who had already walked down the steps and had turned left. And he thought I was right behind him, right beside him. And he ran back, and someone else came. And finally, when I was able to get up, they helped me up to the second step, and I sat down. And so many people from San Antonio stopped as they were probably on their lunch hour or just enjoying the river walk or visitors, tourists, whatever. Can we help you? Is there something we can do? And I'm just thankful. But anyway, I went to the emergency room, and I had scrapes all up and down my shins. My knee was swollen, my hand was swollen. Um, I didn't even know that I had a problem with my shoulder until like the next day or so. Everything else hurt so bad. But anyway, I did. They told me, they said, we can't tell if there's any broken bones in your hand, but within a week you must go to an orthopedist. And they said your knee is not broken. So anyway, I did. I made an appointment as soon as we got home that night. And it was 2 o'clock in the morning by the time we got home. And I went to a specialist the following Monday, and they took more x-rays, and there were no broken bones. But I have ligament and tendon problems, and I have a major ligament, I guess, that goes up through here, and I'm still having to wear my brace. They put me in a fiber um, uh, cast, I guess, and I wore that for a week, and you couldn't get it wet, and blah blah blah. But this one I can actually take on and off, and so that's a blessing. You can take a shower, you can wash your hands, you can eat. Um, I just have to be careful, you know, of I just don't just take it off and leave it off. And I did try that one day, and I suffered for it. So we don't do that anymore. But anyway, that's my story, and that's why I haven't been on. Plus, I had a treatment last Thursday, and so my life just never stops. Oh, goodness. But anyway, I did want to share a project with you. I hope I didn't bore you with my story, um, because we all have problems, and God's in control. And I just praise Him that I did not break anything. And one friend of mine did say, I think we need to put you in a bubble. Another friend said, what are we going to do with you? And my oncologist said, I think we need to wrap you in bubble wrap because I keep having these things happen to me. And so, anyway, hopefully, I've had 3 accidents since May. And the Segway I was riding in Nassau, Bahamas, I got too close to the pier, or whatever you want to call those things that they put to where you don't have accidents. Well, I got too close, and my wheel just kind of, and it ended up the Segway was on top of me. And I'm just one of those people, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But I'm really getting too old for this. And my nephew, who is he's just a sweetheart. I've got so many nieces and nephews that are so special to me. He said, Dane, please be careful. He's a policeman. And I'm afraid to send him any new texts or anything, because if I have any more accident, he may come over here and put me in bubble wrap. I don't know. But anyway, that's my story. End of story. Okay, I just wanted to share a project share with you. This is what I made before my accident. Um, as you can see, this is a cone, or it can be called a Tussie Mussie, whichever one you want to call it. I, I don't really know. But anyway, what I did was I took a cone, and it's made out of paper mache, and it's solid. Uh, if you don't have paper mache cone, I got this at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, online. Prob- I'm not sure if you can get them at Walmart or not, but I know that they're very easily found, and they just come in a kind of a craft color, craft paper color. And so anyway, you don't have to have this type of cone. It can be smaller. It can even be larger. I saw some that were really large on the internet, on YouTube. And but you can also make them out of a excuse me, a thick paper, and make your own. But to me, I thought, I bought these. I'm going to use them. Well, anyway, let me show you what I did. What I did was I took um, a piece of curtain lace, and I covered. Now, if you were going to do it, you would put it at an angle, like so. Of course, this isn't large enough, but you would wrap it. And if you were going to make one, you'd do the same thing. And then you just wrap it so that it gets covered. Well, anyway, I did that with my piece of lace. Then what I did was I started on the front, actually. And I'm hoping that you can see it well enough. I know if I stand it up, you will not be able to see it. But what I did was I put a beautiful piece of applique. Actually, it came from a bridal dress that I had purchased and I had cut out, and I had tea dyed because it was white. And then I said, okay, what am I going to do? Then I decided I would work on the top since I found my piece that was going to be the center of attention. I was going to work from there out. And so what I did is I added some lace underneath. Let's see if we can get this closer. Maybe I can't. Let's see here. Okay, that's as close as I can get it. Okay, so I added some lace, and I took it and you can't really see it, but this is the lace from my curtain, and I glued it down into here so that you wouldn't just look into an unfinished project. And then I put lace over the top of that, and then I said, oh, okay, I'm going to put another lace coming downward over the top of these pieces of tiny, tiny little uh, doilies. And then I said, okay, I'm going to put this piece of trim in its little pearls over the top of that. And then on the front, I said, okay, now I am going to add a larger doily, as you can see right here. And I put this beautiful flower. And I'm not sure if that's Prima or which particular one it is. But I got it at Hobby Lobby. And I put it here on top. But underneath, I added, excuse me, this piece of lace in between each one. And then I added the pearl. And they were just kind of hanging down. And as I went, I would pull them up and I would put them under the next doily. Now, this is the same lace that you saw over here. It just continues, but I added a flower. If you can see this right here, it's a little doily flower, and it has a little resin flower here on the top. And these are done in browns and creams, sort of. And so I took that piece of lace, listen to me, pearl, and I brought it up and added another doily right here, and I put it right there. And then I put this beautiful flower here on top. Now, I'm getting close to the back of the flower. So what I wanted to do was put something on the back. If you're like me, you don't want it to be one-sided. Looks like I need to maybe do my pearl buttons to where that they stand up a little bit more, maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't notice that until we started filming here. But anyway, on the back, I added a doily and another doily, and then another one of these beautiful flowers. I just think these are so pretty. They're a little more expensive than the regular ones, but not that expensive. You use your 40% discount at Hobby Lobby, and you've got a good deal. These are pearl. They're not pearl. These are bridal buttons that came off either the sleeve or the back of a dress, wedding dress. And I put those down the back. And then as we go around. We come back almost to the front, and we find another doily and another flower. And so it's like doily, flower. Here's a little doily with a resin flower. And these are paper. And I got these also at Michael's. And I've had these for a while, and I really do like them. But anyway, there's my doily. There's that piece of, remember I told you I put two things of pearls and just let them hang down till I put on my doilies. Well, this is where the doily comes in. And I put it up under there, and it made a little loop. And we're back to the front. And then I decided I would, can you believe it? Oh, wrong way, Hazel. I got it right. Okay. What I did was I snipped off the end of the comb, and I took pearls and I attached them to a wire, and it was a little bit bigger wire so that it would fit up in that hole, and hot glued it to where it would stay up in there and would not come out. Now on top of that, I added this doily and this beautiful doily, and I believe that this came from Donna Little, and she sells doilies and lace and appliques, lots of wedding dress type materials. And then I put a pearl here in the center. Now on the opposite side, as I told you, I don't like things to be not finished on the back. So I added two different doilies on the back. And then I added a little pearl. I don't know. It was just a piece of, they were just all together. I don't even know where I got them. But anyway, they were my stash, and I put them there. And so there's something on either side. Now, what I did, woohoo! Oh, I got a little chair. Let me back out just a little bit because I want you to see this. I don't think I was in frame when I was turning it around. Okay, now, what I did on the inside, let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. I don't know if I can or not, but I took a doily. Actually, back up. My husband cut me a round circle, and not that I couldn't have cut it, but he was in here, and I said, hey, would you cut me a round circle? He said, okay, you know. And so he did, and I put it down in there, and it fit just perfectly down in there, and I glued it to where it wouldn't go, because I put a doily. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a doily, and it starts up here, and it goes down, and it rests on top of that circle. Now, the reason I did that is because I wanted to add a little cherub. Well, the thing is that if I had not put the piece of cardboard in there, the circle, I think he would have been spongy going up and down. But really, he's pretty stable. I did take him outside, and I did spray him with the spritz that's supposed to make him shiny. But you know, he doesn't look too shiny to me. I can see a few shiny pieces on him, but not a lot. So that didn't seem to work out too well. But before I glued it, no, actually, after I glued it, I put this Chinese braid on it. And then I put a doily. Whoops. The only way you're going to see this is if I turn it towards you. But on top of the piece of braid, I took a little tiny doily, tiny, tiny, and I glued it on top so that it would make a nice presentation. And this particular little Tussie Mussie, um, or if you want to call it a, get this thing turned, get everything turned the right way here. Uh, Oops, I'm not in frame. Let me back out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. It's going to hang in my craft room. And so anyway, that is my lace um, Tussie Mussie / comb. I don't really know because everybody calls it two different names. But anyway, oops, I'm going the wrong way. See, I am wrong way, Hazel. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm hoping by next week I might be able to do something with my hand, but I really do want to be careful with it. I don't want anything to happen. I want that ligament to heal, because if not, I have to go back to the doctor. And so anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. This was my first time making one of these, and I see the things that I would change. And you know how it is. You kind of make something, and you yourself can see every little thing that you did, and you say, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done something else. Well, that's okay. That's part of crafting. And this is going in my craft room. And I love you guys with all my heart. And I hope that you will continue to pray for me. And I hope that I'm back in here and making something that you will enjoy and that will inspire you. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.